Hello, everybody. And as if you've joined us already, you've been hearing us talk back and forth. We're a pretty friendly and open group, and we're really delighted that you could join us this evening for a Student and Support Network webinar. This is for the University of California Education Abroad Program, or UCEAP. My name is Vivian Lee Nitre. As I said, I'm the Associate Vice Provost and Executive Director of UCEAP. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on the UCEAP website. The presentation is intended for summer, fall, and academic year 2023 program participants and their support networks, meaning immediate family, extended relatives, friends, and any other person a student considers to be a support person. We hope that through this webinar, you'll better understand UCEAP and be introduced to the tools we have in place that provide guidance, reduce health and safety risks, and provide the highest value and greatest impact for UCEAP program participants in their academic journey. Please use the Q&A feature throughout the webinar, and we'll be holding a 15-minute question and answer session after the presentation. Prior to coming to my current role, I was dean of 2 colleges in China and a faculty member at UC Riverside for more than 20 years. My experience with study abroad, though, goes back much farther. I was a first-generation college student, and I studied abroad in the Netherlands. I later met my husband while studying in Taiwan as a grad student. And as a UC faculty member, I was a study center director, now called faculty director, in the Netherlands for 3 years for UCEAP. From all of these experiences, I know the value of education abroad, and I know its challenges. UCEAP serves all 10 campuses, offering students academic options for formal classroom study, field and lab research opportunities, and a variety of internships across the globe. Students can participate in summer, quarter, semester, or academic year programs in 40 countries, most with coursework in English. Costs vary by program length and location, but UC financial aid applies in all cases. And there are programs that cost the same or less as staying on campus. While studying abroad, students can fulfill their major, minor, or breadth requirements, meaning that their time to graduation will not be delayed. And this webinar will provide more specific information on all these topics. Importantly, I want to note that students are supported by a global team of over 100 dedicated professionals. These include on-site or local support staff, UCEAP staff, and UC contracted providers. Participation includes insurance that's specifically geared to the needs of students studying abroad. UCEAP program teams work with students beginning with pre-departure guidance and orientation on through to their return to campus. And I'm very proud that our dedicated and experienced 24/7 health, safety, and crisis management team is nationally, if not internationally, recognized. Study abroad helps prepare students in a variety of ways. They enhance their knowledge base and they develop important soft social skills that can prepare them for their career or graduate professional school plans. To be sure, all students abroad will face challenges of various kinds, but working through these problems allows students to gain confidence and valuable insights about themselves. UCEAP and partner staff are always available for advice and assistance, but we hope that students will discover what they are capable of for themselves. When I was a faculty director, I would see students arrive. They were a little nervous, a bit overwhelmed, sometimes feeling a bit homesick, and then I would see them depart just a few months later, and they were different. They were more self-assured, they were independent, and often they had discovered a second home. Beyond my professional involvement with UCEAP, I'm a UCEAP parent. Our daughter studied abroad with UCEAP more than once. As a mom, it wasn't always easy to be so far away or to resist the urge to somehow, reach out across the distance and try and fix some problem that she was having. But I believe that being able to step back while remaining supportive allowed me and my husband to watch our daughter grow, gain resilience, advance academically, and make friends that she's remained close to for more than a decade. Our UCEAP leadership team, listed on this slide now, will present a variety of topics designed to help foster meaningful communication between our UCEAP participant, your student, and you, their support networks. I wish your student every success on their study abroad journey. And now to get us started, I would like to introduce John Simone, our Data Privacy and Compliance Officer, to speak about our UCEAP communications approach in accordance with privacy laws. Thank you.
Thanks, Vivian, and hello, everyone. You may have heard of the laws we're about to mention, but we just wanted to highlight them real quick because of how they can shape the exchange of information between you and the university. UCEAP deeply values and strives to protect the privacy and confidentiality of our students. It is also a legal requirement under US federal laws, such as the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, otherwise known as FERPA. It's also, their rights are protected under California laws, including the state constitution, which actually includes privacy as a fundamental right, and also the California Information Privacy Act. And international laws are worth mentioning too, such as the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, also known as GDPR. Because of these legal protections that are afforded to our students, University of California staff members generally prohibited from disclosing certain personal information to any third party without the student's prior consent. This includes members of the student support network. In light of these laws, we encourage students to be proactive in communicating program information directly to their support network, and authorizing consent for disclosure to trusted individuals in advance of their travels, wherever they feel it appropriate to do so, of course. At this time, such an authorization may be easily facilitated by simply emailing us at the address on the slide, privacy@uceap.universityofcalifornia.edu. Our next speaker will be our Associate Dean, Rochelle Jean-Baptiste.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, John. My name is Rochelle Jean-Baptiste, and I'm one of the 2 Associate Deans at UCEAP. I'm also an Associate Professor of African History at the University of California, Davis. When I was an undergraduate, I spent a summer studying in France and living in the home of a French host family. That experience changed my life. I learned this language skills, ability to adapt and get along with people from different cultures, and the sense of self-confidence that I could be at home everywhere and anywhere in the world. This experience launched me into what is now a 20-year career in international education that has taken me to locations across Europe, Africa, and the Americas. I often refer to UCEAP as an ecosystem that supports all aspects of a student's journey abroad and then back to a UC campus. My role in that ecosystem, alongside other UCEAP employees in California and abroad, is to maintain academic standards and supports. Fundamentally, embarking on a UCEAP summer, semester, or academic year is not tourism. It is education in that the primary activities will entail classroom and experiential learning. And what I mean by experiential learning, it includes research, an internship, monument, or other site visit. That is really the reason why people go abroad. What I'd like to do is elaborate on 3 touch points of academic standards and academic support for students on a UCEAP experience. So the first is what I call arriving and thriving in a country. So in many, but not all locations, there may be an office or a physical location called a UC Center, where there are employees who are there to exclusively support UC students. This may include in-country staff or UC faculty who have expertise in international education, are fluent in the local language, and know the culture and key people in the host partner institutions. So the study center is a key lifeline for students. And I know this well because for 2 years, I served as the faculty director of the UC Center in France. So upon arrival of the country where your students may be going, there may be an orientation focusing on course selection, the institution's academic culture, and tips on maintaining health and safety. In country and USA-based UCAP staff are eager to help students all along the way with any academic, health, or other challenges that may arise. Therefore, it's crucial that students arrive in the country by the specified date, maintain active communication with UCAP staff, and yes, check and respond to emails. The second academic touchpoint is encountering and navigating academic challenges. We do expect that students carry a full course load as defined by varied programs, abide by the timelines for course registration, add drop, and declaring if courses are for a lighter grade or pass-fail. However, we do understand that there may be extenuating circumstances related to health problems, other special academic situations, or emergencies that impact the course of studies. If emergencies occur while on a UCAP experience, there are processes in place for petitions to drop courses, add courses, grade option changes, and subject area changes. The final decision on any such requested changes may lie with an associate dean, with myself, or the student's home campus. And the third area is that of earning UC credits and grades. So in coordination with academic specialists, the associate deans review and give final approval for grades that UCAP then transmits to the registrar's offices of varied UC campuses. We carefully review the academic culture and grading patterns of international partner institutions so that grades are translated to be in alignment with UC standards. Another thing that's important to remember is that academic culture in varied countries may be very different than that in the USA. So this presents both an opportunity and challenge in education abroad for students to adapt to new and different norms and to discover skills and competencies they didn't know they had. So in closing, let me just say congratulations to the students who've chosen to embark on the transformational life decision to study abroad, and you, the support networks who will champion them all along the way. And I'll transition to our next speakers, my colleagues, program directors, Linda York and Michelle Cobb.
Sorry about that, I was muted. My name is Michelle Cobb, and studying abroad is a wonderful way for your student to experience different cultures, increase their employability, and gain a competitive edge while living in a new part of the world. UCAP's support network here in California includes program staff who work closely with your student to ensure that they have end-to-end support during pre-departure, while abroad, and after they return. After your student has been nominated by their campus, our staff will begin working with them on a wide range of tasks that need to be completed before they leave.
Hi, my name is Linda York. Now, all your students have an account with UCAP called the UCAP portal. In this portal, there is a wealth of information, including all their pre-departure requirements, budget, housing, calendar, and arrival instructions. Talk to your student and see if they feel comfortable giving you access to the portal, since many of the details and information you'd like to know can be found there. I've seen many of the questions on the Q&A coming in. That information can be found in the student's portal. Your student may say, I don't know what I need to do to get housing, or how am I supposed to get a visa? So families, rather than completing the task for them, please encourage your student to take an active role themselves in preparing for their program. We know they're busy with school, but the best support you can provide is to encourage them to reach out on their own to get answers to their questions. The contact information for our staff can be found in their portal. Our staff will also provide a comprehensive pre-departure webinar, which is required for all students and will be done via Zoom. It covers a wide range of topics that are relevant to their upcoming program. Once on site, they will attend another mandatory orientation. Now, just a note, all students are required to arrive by the official program start date. And it's really important that they wait to purchase their airline ticket until their program calendar is available and they have reviewed their arrival instructions.
So let's talk a little bit about what your student can expect once they are abroad. UCEAP offers a huge variety of programs, and the type of support will vary on site. In some locations, UCEAP has dedicated staff in country, while in other places, students are supported by staff in the host university international office. If your student needs academic accommodation, they should communicate with our team now to see what may be available to them when they are abroad. We know your student is excited about the travel opportunities, learning a new culture, and making friends. But study abroad is also about challenge, discomfort, growth. They're going abroad to experience differences that can sometimes be unsettling, especially in the beginning. They may encounter different living conditions and transportation schedules that are more challenging and less convenient than they're used to on their home UC campus. Some of these problems can be addressed, but others may need them to adapt because this is part of the experience of living in a foreign culture. Because you're part of your student support network, they may share aspects of their experience that are upsetting or just frustrating to them. Sometimes this can be interpreted that they're really struggling and in need of assistance, when all they may want is just for someone to listen and empathize with them. Other times it is more serious and could be an emergency, and our health and safety and crisis management director will be covering this in the next presentation.
So on-site staff are the best source of assistance for both routine and urgent matters. If your student's experiencing a problem, such as they don't have hot water in their dorm or apartment, or they're having a conflict with their roommate, encourage them to speak to local staff rather than trying to solve it for them. Having your student take ownership, being flexible and adaptable, and learning to be self-sufficient is key to a successful study abroad experience and provides the foundation for transformational growth. Lastly, adjusting to their new environment may be facilitated by turning off or easing up on their social media interaction. It can be liberating to explore their new world without the pressure of always having to present a picture-perfect experience. Wherever they are headed, we look forward to supporting your students during their UCEAP program. Our next speaker will be Michael Marcelli, UCEAP's Director of Finance.
Thank you, Linda. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Marcelli, and I'm head of the Finance Unit. We want to welcome you to our presentation, our webinar here, and I'm here to talk about our scholarships and give you a better grounding understanding of how the financial aid will work. It's important to know that all of UCEAP's over 400 different program options are eligible for the same financial aid package that your student experiences at their home UC campus while participating on a UCEAP program. Our student budgets include program costs for refundable airfare to the destination, housing, meals, incidental costs in location, such as laundry services, other food plans, local transportation to and from courses from their housing accommodations, instruction materials, insurance, and also costs with the local system-wide study center offices. All of these costs are included in our financial aid calculations done and worked through with your campus. Our website contains the student budgets and costs for all of our programs and are currently available for all summer 23 programs, academic year 23-24, and for fall 23 options are live and available to you to look at. In addition to the campus financial aid your student will receive, UCEAP provides over nearly $1 million annually in merit-based scholarships for participants that are available for during the academic year and for summer options. Depending on the program and its duration, scholarships range from $1,000 to up to $5,000. Year-long participants could be eligible for up to $5,000 off for each student participant. To be eligible for our scholarships, students write a 500-word personal essay, which is then evaluated by UCEAP alum and our staff. Prospective students will be informed whether or not they have actually been awarded a scholarship prior to any of our withdrawal deadlines. Students who are not eligible for student grants or loans or other forms of federal financial aid are also strongly encouraged to apply for these UCEAP scholarships, as they are not based on financial need and are merit-based scholarships. They have the added value of replacing any loan in a student's financial aid package, thereby supporting them while they're abroad and lessening future indebtedness. It's also good to know that in some program locations, the cost of living may be even lower than remaining here in California. The finance team holds regular office hours for any student or parent with questions. So if there's any specific questions that we can help you out with, please reach out in the chat and we'll be happy to set some time to address you or your students' questions. Thank you for participating in our webinar. And now I'm going to hand it over to Julie Pollard, our Director of International Health, Safety, and Crisis Management.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening. I'm Julie. I'm the Director of International Health, Safety, and Crisis Management. Safety is a partnership and a shared responsibility that requires students to be well-informed and active participants in their own well-being. Our department provides tools, resources, and guidance on how to remain reasonably healthy and safe while abroad, and provides emergency support when things go wrong. I'd like to discuss supporting your study abroad student, understanding what health and safety resources students have access to, and how to utilize these resources. All resources that will be described are available to all participants and are detailed in the student portal. UCEAP prioritizes health and safety and works to provide the best resources to holistically manage well-being while studying abroad. Preparation for study abroad, all students must obtain a health clearance. Health clearance is important and a required component of study abroad. It first requires the student to complete a confidential health history form. This form is only shared with the doctor or medical practitioner and is not submitted to UCEAP. This form is meant to help guide conversations about program participation with a medical professional. The instructions may differ based on the UC campus, but this slide shows the process along with some suggestions. It is important to be honest about any conditions or concerns regarding wellness while studying abroad. For example, consider if the program has any requirements such as physical activity, or if the program location requires significantly more physical activity than your student may be used to in daily life. Prescribed medication should also be researched for legality and ability in the program country. If specific conditions necessitate seeing a medical specialist, such as a psychiatrist, it is important to discuss a treatment plan and what is needed in order to be successful in the program. Please encourage your plan early, and please do not delay in the health clearance process. All students are required to take the UCEAP safety course. This course will take about an hour to complete. The slide provides an overview of the learning outcomes. It was developed by the University of California experts and includes essential and helpful information to better prepare for study abroad. The first 4 sections of this course cover health and safety topics that benefit all students studying in all program locations. The course may require a 5th country-specific section depending on your program location. The University of California partners with several organizations to support students. LYRA is our virtual mental health provider. Crisis 24 is our risk management partner, helping UC operate globally. Chubb is our insurance provider for the UC travel policy, and AXA, our travel assistance provider of this policy. In the next slides, we'll explore what each organization is, what they provide, and how their services can be utilized. LYRA is different from other mental health services. It uses a combination of counselors, clinicians, technology, and research-backed therapies to develop a personalized treatment plan. LYRA offers in-person, virtual, or phone sessions, as well as a DIY approach through LYRA's online library of videos, articles, strategies, and meditations. LYRA allows students to participate in up to 20 mental health counseling sessions for no additional fee. This is different from the travel insurance program, where services are paid upfront and then a reimbursement is requested by submitting a claim. For LYRA, no paperwork and no fees are required. Simply sign up and attend. Coverage begins on the arrival day in the program country. Crisis 24 provides intelligence-driven, world-class risk advice and alerts, innovative technology, and security evacuation services. All students are automatically enrolled to receive travel alerts for their program country and city. These alerts keep students informed of events that may impact daily life. It is important to read them and consider the advice provided. Their WorldQ Travel Planner allows students to research any location and obtain global travel tips. A personal file can be created where alert notifications are customized. This is helpful when planning personal travel to other countries and cities. For example, while on a personal trip to London, you are alerted to a protest happening near a museum you intend to visit. Having this information allows you to reconsider your plan and be properly informed about what is happening. We recommend registering personal travel to continue receiving alerts. The WorldQ app, which students will be instructed to download in a welcome email after acceptance in a UCEAP program, makes this easy. As a UCEAP participant, students are automatically enrolled in the Student Travel Insurance Policy designed by Chubb for the University of California. The plan provides medical and non-medical benefits. Student travel insurance serves as the primary medical coverage, while it's not the same as health insurance in the United States. If a student is enrolled in UCShip while on campus, they will need to continue that enrollment while on a UCEAP program. Costs for medical care must be paid out of pocket and are then reimbursable according to the policy details. Some benefits include zero deductible, zero copay, prescription drug benefits, mental health counseling and emergency remote behavioral health consults, medical and security evacuation, continued treatment for pre-existing conditions and covered conditions. AXA is the travel assistance provider, and UCEAP students have access to their portal called Travel Eye, where extensive information regarding health risks while traveling or to find care in a specific city can be found. AXA can help connect the student with specific medical care abroad, evacuate in the event of a serious medical emergency, provide global health teleconsultation through their app called Dr. Please. If a student has a more complex medical case that might require a specialist treatment plan while abroad, AXA's continuity of care planning can assist in organizing the support needed before leaving the United States. We know that insurance is a complex topic, and therefore we provide extensive information on the UCEAP website, including the insurance policy brochure and in the UCEAP portal. We also have a specific staff member in the Health, Safety, and Crisis Management team dedicated to insurance issues and questions. During a crisis in a program location, UCEAP will issue a welfare check. This means that a student will receive an email and a text from our emergency communication system asking for them to check in. The Health, Safety, Crisis Management Department conducts a welfare check drill for all students in all programs to familiarize them with the tool and the process in the event of an actual emergency. Responding to the welfare check drill is a requirement, and not doing so will result in a discipline. Students are required to update their contact information in the UCEAP portal to ensure that we are able to reach them during a crisis. If a student is traveling outside their program city, they are required to complete a travel sign-out in the EAP portal. UCEAP operates an emergency phone line that is answered every day, and all night. Calls are answered by an emergency answering service and then directed to myself, a member of my department, or senior leadership in the program team, such as Michelle and Linda, who previously spoke. Our emergency responders are trained and tested in dealing with all types of emergencies. The website listed on this slide is UCEAP's In an Emergency webpage, which defines an emergency and details how to report incidents. Students also have access to local support, and that information is available in the UCEAP portal and the program guide. As a final reminder, remember that UCEAP's website and student portal are filled with resources and information that students should be reading. Using these resources proactively rather than reactively will help maintain wellness while abroad. And last, but certainly not least, please reach out and ask for help before a situation becomes more serious. Wellness is truly a partnership, and our goal is for all students to have a safe and successful academic experience abroad. We'll now begin the Q&A session. So I see lots of questions already submitted. Please go ahead and continue. I'd like to introduce Associate Program Director Noah Kutchins to moderate. Noah, please get us started.
Thank you, Julie. And thank you everyone for some very thoughtful and distinct questions. And we'll do our best to summarize all the questions into concise answers and give our leadership the opportunity to answer as much as we can. But we do want to have you rest assured that we will be able to answer questions not just in this Q&A session. We have a team of support, program specialists, academic specialists, and our leadership here who will hopefully get all the answers that you'll need. So I saw that there was a lot of questions about program dates, arrivals, housing, host families, when to buy plane tickets. So quickly, Linda, maybe you can summarize what the best practices for UCEAP students are regarding when they should expect to receive their program dates, if they have already received their program dates, and what they should do or not do based on what those program dates indicate.
Right. As I mentioned in our presentation, the program calendar can be found in the UCEAP student portal. Now, that's dependent on sometimes partner universities abroad releasing their academic year program dates. So if your program dates are not posted, it's because we haven't received it from the partner university. For many programs, the calendar is up there and you can find that information. If it's not posted, it means we're still waiting. So for this reason, we know you're anxious to try to get the best airfares possible. We do ask that you hold off purchasing an airfare until your program arrival date has been posted. And we really encourage you to purchase a refundable airfare, refundable changeable airfare, because it is not uncommon for every now and then a partner or program to say, oops, sorry, no, you need, the start date is actually this day. So it's really important to keep that in mind and have the flexibility to be able to change the airfare if needed.
And for further questions,
and all those questions that students have about their program start date, when they apply for housing, what they need to do for visa requirements, they need to contact the program specialists. And again, that contact information is in their portal, and that's who can answer their questions.
Another common question was, when will students be able to receive a list of other students participating on the program, or when will they have that first opportunity to interact with their fellow program participants?
Right, that's, we can't share student information with other students, but the program specialists can, there's sometimes some chat groups or Facebook groups that they can be given access to, and our staff can provide that information as to how they can connect with other students.
Okay, thank you, Linda. We've had a lot of questions about finances and scholarships. Michael, can you help us answer some of these questions about what financial aid covers, first of all, and what are out-of-pocket expenses?
Sure, thank you, Noah. And I'm trying to catch up on all the questions for finances. If you'll, whether it was very specific questions about your particular student, I saw one about payment dates on a particular option. If you'll probably message me your student's email address and student ID, we can get those. I don't want to put the specific ones in the chat. But overall, out-of-pocket costs would be such as laundry services within the host country. We have estimates that go back many years with students who document for us. These were the typical costs they experienced. We want to ensure those expenses are put in the budgets, which you can find on our website. Things that are not covered would be additional travel your student may choose to go on. So for instance, if your student's going to Florence and opts to go to a different location or city on a weekend, those expenses are not. But the average cost of a trip from California-based airport to the host institution, yes, would be packaged and available to your students as part of their budget. So if your student is on a Pell Grant or a federal loan eligible at their home UC, that will be the packaging they receive while attending on our program.
And following up regarding scholarships, there was a lot of questions about deadlines for scholarships, where more information about scholarships can be found, what merit-based scholarships are available, if they're still available for certain programs that might have a starting date coming soon. Can you provide a little bit of guidance maybe to where scholarship information can be gleaned?
I think the links provide a lot of information for, and does it, if either of my colleagues has better idea on the deadlines and timelines, they probably are better expert on those.
Okay. Julie, there were some questions about health insurance, about what a waiver means. For example, if someone has a SHIP waiver, what their health.
All UC students are automatically enrolled in UC SHIP when they go to campus. When they come to UCEAP, they are automatically enrolled in the student travel insurance plan, and there is no option of opting out of it. All students have to maintain their enrollment. This ensures that all of our services are consistent across all students in all locations, including if there is an emergency and a crisis evacuation or a medical evacuation would need to occur. I did put the link in the chat for everyone that directs directly to the student travel insurance page that will likely answer most of your questions. It also has downloadable policy brochures where you can actually explore the coverage. If you have questions, the insurance liaison also linked that webpage.
Additionally, there were some questions about accessing the portal. How do students add their guardians to the portal? How do parents access the portal? Or is there information or formats that students can use as sample language when sending an email to give parental authorization?
For the student portal, all students need to do is share their login information and password with their parents. There's not a form they need to complete. They just need to share their access information for the portal. That's with, yeah. So your student has to be willing to do that.
A couple questions regarding academics. So how will students verify that the credit major requirements are being satisfied? And or do they need to get approval if they're not taking courses for a specific major or general education requirement? Rochelle or Linda?
Yeah. Students need to consult if you're looking to see if courses taken abroad will satisfy credit in the major. The students need to have a conversation with their academic advisor, share with them what courses they're planning to take, and they can give you an indication. Some departments have pre-approved courses for some programs, but in many cases, they will just give you an indication, yes, this is likely to fulfill this requirement. And then students need to be decision when they come back after their program is over and they receive approval then.
But if a student is just going for units and doesn't need specific courses for a specific major credit, they don't need pre-approval.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Vivian. No, please go ahead, Vivian.
I was going to say, I've just put in the chat a link to a course credit abroad database. It's being updated now. It'll take a little bit of time, but it will give students an idea of courses that have been taken at a specific location abroad before, and the exact kind of credit that it received on their specific campus. So it doesn't guarantee it, but it's a pretty good, a pretty reassuring tool to be able to look at and then talk with your advisors.
Series of financial questions. Hopefully, Michael, you might be able to assist. If a student applied for FAFSA, should they wait until they get an offer letter before they pay for their program?
For that specific question, if the student or parent would reach out to me privately, we can look into your and contact your home financial aid office and see where the status is of your packaging. Some campuses are more ahead of the game on getting their students packaged, and some have fallen behind. So I can answer that question better if I have the student's information home campus.
Michael, I don't think they can private chat you on this
Oh, okay.
in the format. So if you want to put your email address in the webinar chat.
Absolutely. I'll put it in there right now.
Thank you.
There are also several questions about how to access money overseas. Local banks, carrying cash, using debits, converting into local currency. How do we provide that information, Michael, generally to our students?
I recommend the student and the parents contact your card provider to determine if there will be fees assessed. Some cards do not have fees when the student or the parents are there in country. It's going to depend on the card and the debit company that you're using, or your local credit union institution. Sorry, I can't give you more specific answer.
I might just add generally too in the world, you know, some places are more cash prevalent than others. So I think it's important to look into that. And it's something you can ask your bank about, but you can also just Google it and ask a little bit more. For example, Mexico is much more cash friendly. There's not as many Venmo, they just started using PayPal, things like that. But Europe, it's very easy to use an ATM card and take money out. I wouldn't recommend walking around with a lot of cash if you can use an ATM card instead, just for safety reasons. So I think this one, again, really just depends on the location. And I'd recommend that being a question if you want to bring it up during the pre-departure webinar. That's more site specific. A lot of these questions are very site specific. And so I'm just trying to talk generally about how to take money out. ATM cards, just make sure that the bank is aware that you're going out of the country so that they're aware ahead of time. If your student has never used an ATM card before, talk to them about it and practice before, because these are all things that you're, you know, teaching them to use in the rest of their life. So it's just little things that seem simple, but to practice those types of things and talk about what do you do if you lose your card? Do you have a copy of the NIM number at home? So you leave that with someone, things like that ahead of time.
I should also note that each program in the UCEAP portal, there is a program guide for each student's program, and this kind of information is included in the program guide, as well as in the orientations that they will receive.
And just to reiterate, there are a lot of questions about housing, dorms. For example, when will students find out about their dorm accommodations, their roommates, et cetera? When will they get access to choose the situation in the first place? And what locations provide on-site housing versus what locations students will find their own housing. So we know that housing is generally a very severe concern for a lot of families and students.
There's no single answer because housing is very much dependent on each program. Again, this information on housing information is in the students' UCEAP portal, and that will have, you know, the information if they're applying for dorm housing, if they're being assigned, if they need to find housing themselves, there will be some resources, but there's no single answer. And again, please have your student check the UCEAP portal.
Okay, we've actually reached our time, and I know that there's still a lot of pending questions, so we will do our best to provide the resources for you to get the answers, and our program specialists, our academic specialists, and our team are all here to continue working with you to get answers. And I will now ask Vivian to make the final remarks for our webinar.
Yeah, and please, you know, if we did not get to your question, and I have to say, this is actually extraordinary. I'm looking at 373 participants right now, and that was, I think, beyond our expectations. So clearly, you know, people are interested. You want to support your students. We're happy to have provided this webinar for you. If we weren't able to answer your question, please use the email here. It's just info at, and then our very, very long and ridiculous email address, uceap.universityofcalifornia.edu. A recording will be available, and there is a QR code on the page. You can hold your smartphone up and capture it, and it will take you to What Families Want to Know web page. But we really appreciate your attention, and we wish your student every success, and we're here to support you as you support them. Thank you.